When walking into a supermarket like Costco, Walmart, Tesco, or whatever, you look around and see dozens of options. There is food every corner, and we spend our lives eating them. Do we know where it comes from? Is it healthy for us? Not only that, but when we're going to McDonald's, do we know where our food comes from or how it's grown? We eat all this food, yet most of us don't know where it comes from. These questions were answered in the book Omnivore's Dilemma, which helped me to understand where our food comes from and why I should care about the food that I consume and what I should consume instead. The book starts with explaining that we're omnivores. We eat meat, we eat plants, and the problem is, how do we know what to eat? We always had this problem, but our ancestors ate the food that they grown, the food that they plant. They knew their food. But we have a modern issue where we have no idea what we eat or where it comes from. Poland goes to various food chains trying to explain all the factors that go into the food that we eat, like the cost of the food, the impact it has on the environment, and the impact that it has on our health, and whether if it's sustainable for our society as a civilization. I want to raise awareness about this issue because I feel like it's not talked about enough and everyone should know where the food comes from. It continues going through four different food channels. Um, there is industrial, there is industrial organic, there's local organic, and there's hunter gathering. Each through all those chains, Poland went through all that process to end up with a dinner and tell us all the facts and explains the drawbacks and the benefits of each chain and if it's sustainable for us. Let's start with industrial. This is probably where most of our food comes from. This chain starts with a single corn or perhaps whole bean and ends up in the supermarkets or fast food restaurants. Corn is used to make stuff like hydrogenated fats and other fancy sounding synthetic ingredients, making corn the most valuable crop. These ingredients are then used in products such as soda and breakfast cereal. Animals are another cruel way to turn corn into other products. CFOs, or concentrated animal feeding operation, raises animals for efficiency and profit by jamming them into small cages and automatically feeding them. Animals suffer from these diseases because they live in unsanitary and crowded environments and eat food that they were not meant to eat. We used to grow our food in farms. However, local farms don't meet the demand that we have with today's population, and our modern agriculture does meet that demand. It also creates cheap food, also making out of season food. But with the high cost of chemicals in our air, ground, and water, also as unethical treatment to animals, causing damage to our climate and our health. These are the problems that we face nowadays, and it's really bad. Industrial organic, local and sustainable. This food is grown in small farms with different type of crops and animals. In other words, using a technique called management intensive grazing. This food travels short distance to your table. The organic food movement started ramping up in the 19th century to reduce distribution cost while also solving issues about industrial agriculture. Farmers began selling their products on the side of the road rather than shipping them across the country. In addition, they frequently used local compost instead of chemical parasites and fertilizers. Organic products have more vitamins, meaning it's healthier for us, and it also tastes better when they are grown at their own pace. Tomatoes, for example, when they're grown at their pace, they create a thicker cell wall, meaning that they also will have a concentrated taste. Cows also consume their preferred grass rather than harmful corn, which makes them healthier and so produces healthier meat. Grass is also good for the environment because it absorbs tens of thousands of pounds of CO2 from the environment. Local farms offer us an ethical, eco-friendly, and cost-efficient alternative to industrial farming. They don't compromise ethical concerns, health, or sustainability to our world. Now let's move to industrial organic. These foods are grown in industrial farms. They are similar to industrial farming, but they use natural chemicals to grow their food, like natural fertilizer and natural bug and weed control. Big corporations do the bare minimum to meet organic food regulations so that they can continue to utilize the label organic, tricking consumers into paying more. They continue to grow, giving up many of the fundamental beliefs in the process of being organic. And the health benefits are still the same. Animals will still suffer when buying from industrial organic companies. The last one, hunter-gathering. This is the best way to get food. You know how to get it. It's how our ancestors got their food, and I don't expect anyone to do this because in the world we live in, it's very hard to make your own food and actually survive off it. Therefore, we should do something about it. The health of these two factors depend on what we do now, both for ourselves and the future. The purpose of this video is to share about what we eat and to just raise awareness about the issue. It's your choice to choose what you eat, but knowing how your food is made, it's also eye-opening, and it seems that not a lot of people know about this issue. Other than that, the book is fantastic. If you want to find more about what we eat, I recommend reading the book so that you can know more about the food that we eat and how it impacts us and the world. That's it for me. Thank you for listening.